welcome back to the farm. If you're new here, my name is Nina. I'm a homeschooling, homesteading mom of 4, ages 8 down to 4, and I am married to Daniel. And here on my channel, we talk all about homemaking, homeschooling, and homesteading. Today, I'm giving you part 2 of our trip to northern Kentucky, where we went to see the Creation Museum and the Ark Encounter. So today you are going to see our walkthrough of the Ark Encounter and kind of an inside look of what that was like. So I hope you enjoy what you see and stay tuned.
Driving up to the Ark was kind of a neat experience, especially in the snow, because you don't actually drive up to the Ark. You park in an upper parking lot, and then you are bused over to where the Ark is. So the Ark's kind of sitting out in a field. It was different for us because we were there with snow, so it was kind of hard to see some bearings of like what was actually around, because everything was under snow, but it was really, really neat. And when we finally got there and got off the bus, it was just, you can't imagine how big this thing is. It was just a lot bigger than I expected it to be. And here you see us kind of walking in the entrance. Because of ice and snow, they had the ramp closed. So I'm assuming that you could, on like warmer, prettier days, that you could walk up the ramp and go in the actual Ark door, but we went underneath, and there was heat on and stuff up underneath us, but you can see kind of how it winds, the lines would wind down if it was a really busy day, but it was not when we went. I think they said they've had up to like over 10,000 in the summer in the busy seasons, but warning, if you have young kids, there is lots of loud noises, which you'll hear in just a second.
Hello.
No, because why? Because sun's wise enter the ark, all the livestock, every beast, every winged creature, and every creeping thing, in which is the breath of life. Went into the ark, 2 by 2.
That would be pretty ingenious.
Be careful, T-Rex might be a little hungry.
Once inside the Ark, it was just really neat to see how they had everything laid out and organized, and the cages that you can see here, and like how they would water and feed. That almost looks like a rabbit pen that we've had. Well, it wasn't wood, but it was a wire that we had on our farm, and so it was just really neat to see that. As I just said a moment ago, a lot of the loud noises of like thunder and just the creaking of the boat, and they tried to make a really real experience for you. Scared our younger kids, so just keep that in mind. So we had to keep telling them over and over again that it's just sounds, it's just recording, and show them the speakers, so that they would unlatch from Daddy and Mimi and Pop and all of us. So anyway, but they really did enjoy it once they kind of got used to the sounds, and then it was, as I said in my creation video, it was just really neat to put a visual on how things could have been in the Ark. And you don't really think of it in growing up, you think of it in story form, and as you get older, of like finding out that this is actually true, it did happen, it's not just a story, and how they would have managed to have everything on the Ark. Here you see how they stored the moths and bugs. They were possibly in jars with burlap or some sort of cloth over the top. So we just thought that was very, very interesting, that even that was thought out, and like small lizards and things like that. So it was I just can't say it again. It's very, very neat. So here you're starting to see some of the cages that they have set up that would have had the kinds of animals in them. I think this one is some sort of dinosaur creature. We kind of walk through it and look at all the kinds. Again, as with the Creation Museum, our kids were not interested in reading the plaques. They just wanted to see everything they could see. Here I'm talking about like the poop system. They had the carts underneath them and you just pulled them out and dumped them. But they weren't interested in reading all about the different kinds. I mean, my husband were. So we are definitely going to go back when they are older and can kind of take a little more in. They just wanted to see everything and go see how fast we could go through it. So we had to slow them down, be like, it's okay. We don't have to like fly through this. There's not a lot of people here. We were able to take in as much as we can, but it was really neat to see how every detail was laid out. I realized that a lot of this is assumptions based upon the Bible, but and research and stuff like that. But it was just neat to see how every aspect was taken care of. And isn't that just how God is? He has every detail worked out for us, and even when we aren't even sure, He does, and He's taking care of it. So. And here coming up in just a second, you kind of get a shot looking up. We're on the bottom floor. So you come in on where we came in was on the bottom where they had a lot of the cages of the animals and stuff. And so this is looking up. And so right now they have three decks open on the Ark. And this is a bat cage. We were trying to figure out if the bats in there were real or not. And then we figured out they were fake. They were all mechanical. All of the animals inside the Ark are fake. They are robotic. So just, again, warn your kids that they are not going to hurt them, that they are not real. The real animals are outside. So this is just a diorama to kind of put things in perspective of kind of what you're walking through and what you're seeing. And then over on the wall, they had several information things about how long it actually took for the Ark to be built, how long it took for the Ark Encounter to be built, and just comparing the two of what's the difference in Noah's Ark and the Ark Encounter, of course. And then this was some exhibits of the 6 days of creation. They had a Bible exhibit. I think that one was on the top floor. I don't think I show any footage of walking through that. Like I said, our kids just kind of zoomed right on through. They looked at pictures on the wall and things like that, but they just kind of kept going. I think this walks through the sin of man and kind of lays out a little bit of a timeline before the time of Noah, and what the world was like in Noah's time. And we're back here to some more of the animal kind cages and how this was set up. The kids, again, are just very, very interested in what is going on here. I don't think I showed it, but atop they had like this section where there were cages kind of on both sides of the ark, and they had like a platform with where somebody could walk down, drop food and water from above. I don't think I did a look up. Again, I will apologize for my filming. I was trying to keep up with 4 kids amongst other people, and Benjamin actually ran up to somebody else and gave them a big hug because he thought it was me, so we got a chuckle out of that. But it was not terribly difficult trying to keep up with them because this was not a busy day. We were told there was hardly anybody there, maybe a few hundred people. But so in the winter is probably a good time to go if you don't want to be around a crowd. Or I guess because of the snow, when the time we went right after a snowstorm, so there wasn't a lot of people out and about to go visit the Ark, but it was already planned, so we trudged ahead through the snow, and it was a neat experience for sure. So this exhibit was just explaining how multiple breeds or multiple animals that we have today could have come from this one kind of animal that was on the ark. So here it talks about how a gray wolf, a gray fox, a dog, and all of that could have come from that specific animal. They had a lot of interactive things for the kids to do, so they were having to line up which animals actually rode on the ark. Of course, sea creatures were not on the ark because they didn't need to be. They were under the water. And here is an exhibit explaining how some of the Bible stories and books of Noah's Ark are not exactly true. This is, if I can convince you that the flood is not real, then I can convince you that heaven and hell are not real. And that is the serpent from the Creation Museum. And so, I think that is kind of one of the goals of Satan, is to convince us that the flood didn't really happen, that it's just a story. But as we have found out, I can't remember how many nations and tribes have a story of an ark saving animals and saving people, and is a legend that they tell. So it points to the fact that it did happen. And so it just says, beware of these cute ark books, can be dangerous, forgiving, distorting what actually happened. And we actually own several of these books. I don't think they were trying to convey that you need to get rid of them, but just to be cautious when you read them to your kids, that the Bible is the place that you need to gain your information from. And it says everyone except for 8 people died. So that is a reality that kind of come from this, is that it's not just a cute story. It was real. It was true. Tragedy came from it. And this is the door of the ark. As you see, they have the underline of the cross there, just painting the picture that Noah's Ark was a symbolism of what was to come in Christ, that God prepared a way to save Noah's family and humanity, and God also prepared a way to save us as well through the cross and the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. So now we're getting into what would have been the living quarters for the 8 people that were on the ark. That was Noah, his wife, and their 3 sons and their wives. Just kind of laying out the kitchen, the living quarters, how they would have slept and grown food on the ark. And just kind of walking through that. It was really neat to see all of that happening. We're going to see how many times I can say neat to see, but I can't describe the experience that we have. It was so refreshing and good to be able to put eyes on this and to actually put it into perspective of what the Ark is and how it happened, could have happened. And the last thing that we experienced while at the Ark Encounter was the outdoor area where they have the petting zoo. Again, a lot of the animals were inside because there was snow, and we were a little disappointed that because of the weather and the time of the year that they did not have the camels for camel rides. So keep that in mind. Also, there was a 4D virtual theater, and I highly recommend that if you guys go. So it was a great experience overall. I highly recommend, if you have not been so, to go to the Ark Encounter. I think they are continuing their kids under 10 are free through 2021. Put the Ark Encounter on your bucket list. It will not disappoint.
Alright guys, thanks for joining me today in today's video. I hope you enjoyed seeing our trip to the Ark Encounter, and it kind of gave, if you've never been before, hopefully it gave you a look of what to expect. If you have not already, please hit that subscribe button. We would love for you guys to stick around and hang out with us a little bit more, and give this video a thumbs up and to let us know that you liked it. And we, as always, hope that you enjoy your time with us, and we are so grateful that for those viewers that come back week after week and view our videos. And so be on the lookout for more stuff coming in the future, more unpacking as we're getting ready to move, and as we moved through to the end of the homeschool year. So we will catch you guys in another video very soon. Bye.